to CenterStage here at PrimeTime in Orlando. I am so excited to be joined by three of our favorite people from one of our favorite companies. We have Jorel Potts, Rosanna Filingeri.
Yep.
Did I get it right?
Yep, Filingeri.
Filingeri. And Brian Buchman, TBI, CyberSafe, Telesystem.
Yep.
Very
Correct.
good.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us here today. We are so excited to have you.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, so Jorel, tell us a little bit about TBI and what it does to help save members money.
I'm glad you asked.
It's our favorite topic, right? How to save members money.
That's right. So TBI is a technology services distributor. We distribute technology services. So that just means for your partners that we're going to get the right solution for them every single time, because we have 200 providers that can get them exactly where they need to be at any budget. Two of them that we represent are right here, Telesystem and CyberSafe.
That is fantastic. So as we look at kind of, streamlining the operations, you mentioned there are 200 different providers. So we can save them money, we can save them time, and even if we don't save them money, we can get them better products for the same price that they're already paying.
We want them to be more efficient, more streamlined. That's how they're going to get across to their competitors.
So you mentioned that Brian and Rosanna are from two of our partners.
Yes.
So, let's talk about some of those hot solutions that are available here right now. What are some of the hot topics that are under the TBI umbrella?
I don't know if you guys saw the Rosanna and Peter Trin core yesterday. That was a great solution with cybersecurity. When we were at our booth at 813, everybody was talking about cybersecurity and what they can do to protect their business.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We can help you out with that.
All right, we're going to definitely talk to Rosanna in just a minute about that more in depth.
Perfect.
But what about for members who say that they're fine, right? Everything's fine. I've had the same provider for a long time. Everything's fine. I don't want to go through the hassle of changing, paperwork, and just keep me where I am. What do you have to say to them?
Well, complacency is the silent killer. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
If you are just not willing to move, you're going to get swept behind. I know people who are paying $100, $200, $800 for POTS lines because they're unwilling to go to the cloud. They're unwilling to go to VoIP because they're afraid of the FUD. We're here to dispel that and to educate them on what they can do.
Yeah. All right. So, Brian, let's talk a little bit about Telesystem specifically. So, as we're looking at getting people some better technology options, phone, internet, Wi-Fi engagement. Tell us a little bit about what Telesystem has to offer and why kind of maybe bundling those services under a single provider can benefit our members.
The cost containment, I think, would be the first thing that I think the members are going to see. Obviously, the more you bundle, the more the savings there are, right?
Yeah.
In terms of some of the newer technologies, what we do in the space that we play in, there's not really a lot that we can offer in that space. A lot of the companies are coming to us, members are coming to us specifically for what you mentioned, hosted, getting more of an updated phone system in place, internet access. Everybody needs more speed. The Internet of Things is becoming very relevant in our world. Everybody needs more internet access. And the managed Wi-Fi product for us has taken off in leaps and bounds, giving that experience when people come into a store, into a facility, connecting to a Wi-Fi, and then having the ability to, gate different data and information for marketing purposes for that organization. So it's good. Time and resources is another thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot that we bring to the table in terms of our support. It's all US based. And I know a lot of these members, they're stretched thin in terms of an IT staff or people wearing a lot of hats with their day-to-day operations. Right. So pushing that onto a provider like us to manage and maintain for them, that's really where I think the benefit lies.
All right, so now one of the solutions that I've heard that you offer is hosted PBX lines. Mm-hmm. So let's start with, what is a hosted PBX line?
Sure. No problem.
The very basics. And then how can that benefit our members?
Sure. So at its basic core, it's literally your phone running over top of the internet. Okay. So instead of that traditional phone system where you have a large cabinet in a closet, it's now just a handset on the desk running over your typical cable that your laptop or your PC would run over top of, right? So that at the core is where it's simple. The collaboration component is why I think members should be looking at that. I think COVID, if one thing it taught us is to use the tools that we have out there in the space.
Yeah.
The video conferencing, the chatting functionality. I mean, I look at it in my own life with my own parents. When they were Skyping me and sending me Zoom meetings, I knew that they were embracing the technologies. Yeah. And I think that that's out there in this place. And I think that's typically where a lot of these members are going. Some of the analysis that we've done with TBI, we see a lot of antiquated phone systems. So they're paying for potentially large, quantity of POTS lines, and they can now consolidate that, bundle that in, and again, it kind of goes back to that cost containment.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I understand that y'all have a great deal here for members who are here in Orlando.
Sure, we sure do. So my team's over at our booth. Please stop by. We can go through and kind of show you what we put together, for NMG and with TBI, and gives you an opportunity also to see the great Jimmy Hart. So.
Oh, you can't pass up Jimmy Hart. We're very excited that he is back.
Absolutely.
Well, now, Rosanna, let's talk about cybersecurity. Jorel touched on it a little bit, but cybersecurity has definitely been in the news lately. I know that, you took part in a panel with some of our members during the core meeting. So tell us a little bit about, why cybersecurity is so hot right now and what members need to know.
So I think it goes back to what we were talking about. We're more connected as companies, businesses, the world than we ever have been in the past. With that has come an increased reliance on technology. With that, in turn, has resulted in an increase in cyber events, cyber attacks.
Yeah.
So the concept of cybersecurity is absolutely not new. Things have been going on for quite some time, but what we're starting to see more and more is that it's not a matter of if something will happen, it's a matter of when, and ultimately how prepared an organization is for when it does.
Yeah. So how are hackers accessing organizations today?
Sure. So there's a number of different ways. I'd say the most common is by going after us as the user, right? We generally are oftentimes the weakest link. So the hackers, the threat actors know, they can send us an email, and a lot of the times the regular user's likely to click because think about how many times, we do so many things at once.
Exactly.
So they definitely are, using that. They know we're busy, like I said. They also are leveraging things like the pandemic to be able to exploit organizations. And ultimately what they're targeting is us as the user and the machines that we're working on. And from there, it's kind of a lateral spread.
Yeah. So what advice do you have to help members minimize their risk of their stores?
The most important thing is detection. So at the end of the day, we always want to strive to be able to prevent all the things that we know about, right? Preventative cybersecurity measures can be things like an antivirus, a firewall, having a strong password. But ultimately, we know that those things alone are not enough. So we need to have the next layer of security, which is called detection capabilities. This way you can know if something happens in real time. Most importantly, you can have a chance to eradicate that before the threat actor gets to actually do the damage that they're looking to do. So my advice to the members is just start the conversation, right? Not every organization is the same, which means not everyone gets the same cybersecurity measures to properly protect them. Yeah. But when you do work with an organization like ours, we're going to be able to give you that advice on what types of things are fitting for you. And more importantly, most importantly, I should say, it allows business leaders to understand that this is a business problem, right. Something that requires business attention. It's not just an IT thing.
So with the solutions that you offer, what does a member do should they get hacked? What are kind of some of the basic steps? I know it is a customized thing, but
yes.
It's kind of a general broad overview.
Yeah, so there's different ways, obviously, an organization can have something happen to them. There's a number of folks that have to take that reactive approach, which we hear about in the news, right? So-and-so company had something happen to them. I'm here to say that actually doesn't have to be the case, right? We don't have to find out about cyber events once damage is done. We actually can find out about it in real time, like I was saying beforehand. Mm-hmm. So those organizations that are proactively monitoring, have proactive detection capabilities, we can address that in real time. So our hopes are to meet everybody in that fashion. Because again, it's a lot more cost effective to be proactive rather than reactive. So my hopes for everybody is, just walk away with knowing you don't have to end up there with the right resources, the right partners by your side. We can do a lot to mitigate that risk.
Well, that is great. I understand that you also have a special offer for members who are here in Orlando.
Yes, so we've got a few things that we're offering. So first off, we're offering a free dark web scan. Essentially what that does is we take the corporate domain and we actually can go look for potentially compromised corporate credentials out on the dark web.
Oh, wow.
So why that's really important is because this gives us an understanding of this company's risk profile. Chances are, if passwords are out there and they're still active, threat actors can be using those right now. Yeah. And those businesses might not know about that. So the first thing we want to do is just help them get a lay of the land. Second, we are also offering a free month, a complimentary month of services, continuous security monitoring services for any of the NMG members. So basically, once we meet them, what we want to do is build a custom solution for them, and then the first month is on us.
Oh my gosh, those are great offers. And the problem, though, is that we are on day 2 of PrimeTime. So
Yep.
things are going to be wrapping up in a few hours. So, Jorel, for members who weren't able to come here, who aren't able to meet with Brian, Rosanna, and their teams, how can they get in touch with you? Do they have to wait until we come back together again in March in Dallas?
Absolutely not. They can talk to us today. If they get a hold of Eric Sindelar, they can get a hold of TBI, and we can start saving them money today.
All right, perfect. So they can find everything they need to through MemberNet.
Yes.
Yes.
Get right together with Eric, get connected. And also, though, they can come to PrimeTime, right? You guys
That's
will be
right.
back
Absolutely.
in Dallas.
Yes.
We will.
With more classes, more education, and hopefully more savings.
You got it.
Absolutely.
That's what we love to hear. Jorel, Brian, Rosanna, thank you all
Amy, thank
very
you.
much for joining us here on CenterStage.
Thank
And
you,
thank
Amy.
you for joining us here on CenterStage in Orlando. Please come back. We have lots more content coming right to you from PrimeTime.